They probably got something cooked up, nothing too crazy, but something in terms of prep heavy. I'd be certainly excited to see it.
Nothing too crazy on Breeze either. We still have the KO coming out from the side of GX.
Yeah, I think for Giant X, we kind of had said that when they played this map last time, like, they should be able to win it, because if you want to talk about comfort roles, this is the most comfortable
as it gets,
I think
yeah.
that Giant X could ever be. So it was unfortunate that they weren't able to close that map out against Vitality, but in saying that, they were able to find a decent enough comeback. The vibes seemed to be high, and then looking at Team Liquid's, we love this composition from them.
Yeah, absolutely. This is sort of what I want to see Liquid probably tap into a little more in terms of moving forward this year. But again, it's been the peak for me in Kickoff, seeing the performance on Breeze. A lot of this, unfortunately, low-hanging fruit, it rides on Aura. To have that support system in place, to have people on the roles, on the agents that you'd expect to see them on, this has got to be it.
But that worked from them last year. This time around, you're in this lower bracket. The meta has changed. The pressure is on. We heard both Nats and Lohan talk about how they actually like the pressure. They love to perform under it. Question is it the same for GX? Because again, this is it for you in Kickoff. One of these teams is going home.
Yeah, I mean, when we think about Giant X being under pressure, I think back to that lower bracket run that they had to have in Stage 2 of last year to make it to champs. And of course, Team Liquid, when I think of them in lower bracket runs, I think of Kickoff for them last year, making it to that first Masters event of the year. So yeah, both teams fairly comfortable under pressure, I would say, and know what it takes to be able to make it to those global events.
Peculiar position for both of them to be in, but ultimately, we already touched upon this. The fact that these are two teams that have had international appearances last year, and now there is a chance where one of them there is a reality, the world we live in, one of them just doesn't even go.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. Again, with Liquid, the question around international performances, we'll park that for a little bit.
So you're saying Kickoff wasn't an international last year?
No comment.
Okay, and with that, no comments, we're going to be heading over to our casters, who I'm sure have a lot of comments. So Hazakairo, start commenting.
Thank you. That we will try and do to the best of our ability in a game where one of our Stage 2 Grand Finalists from last year will be sent home in Kickoff here, Cairo. It was a laboured Liquid performance last night. GX with an extra day's rest. They'll be feeling fresh coming into this one.
Yeah, it feels as if after that series yesterday, the real winners were Giant X, just because Team Liquid had a relief to win that series against ULF. But the key asterisk to that is Giant X haven't won a single map or registered a win on any of these maps in this veto.
Yeah, the veto not looking the best for them. The desk discussing it as well. Breeze for Liquid should signal a strong start here, as it was yesterday, rebounding off of that initial loss to ULF. And here we go. GX have never beat Team Liquid in VCT history.
Oh, good time to start.
Exactly, no time like the present.
That's exactly it. Ara looking to play on the front lines, but pushed off through the Owl drone and Silver Utility being flung forwards. But it's just Grubby and Ara looking to take their timing. Well played by Grubby, but Ara manages to dodge the relay bolt. Plays well. Good scan coming through from Cloud. And it looks as if both players were just about to escape, but good shots from Purple.
Yeah, no, Liquid responding here, actually. 3-on-3 situation now, and perhaps a chance to get the spike up after the shocks expire.
Oh, a little bit chaotic here, and still no settle at all. That spike looking to get through the utility, and finally it looks to go down.
Yeah, Slate is clean on both sides. This flank from west side, though, has caught the attention of Liquid. They're now fighting in the site together.
Yeah, now they're pushed forward in towards Flickless and Cloud as they hold on with at least the Bandits, but Purple wins out against his opposite number first. Flickless now up west side, coming in at the perfect time, and now it's up to Wayne, a player who started off brilliantly on Breeze yesterday, and will have to live up to that same performance now, but they're just going to try and stick it, and it's going to be west side to hold it down. 3 for him, and a pistol for Giant X.
Yeah, good start for GX. The round went to the ropes, I think, in portions, but a conversation I want to bring up nice and early here is a potential initiator experience diff that we see between the two sides. It was a fantastic reveal from Cloud to start, and we know how good Flickless has been recently on the KO as well. Westside stealing the show here, getting GX on the board early.
I think, yeah, you're absolutely spot on in terms of just an experience, not just on the initiator front, but just as a full team. I mean, the desk were talking about it as well in terms of like what Giant X should have been able to do. Seems as if it's going to be very quick pop towards the site. Sure, Giant X do have the advantage in terms of the weapons, but strength in numbers could help out Team Liquid here.
Already quite a bit of damage shaved off of these Liquid players. It's 5 classics that they are up against here, GX, but already 2 members down.
Spike planted.
Cloud really only on a bandit, so it doesn't look all that great for Giant X, especially since Wayne has managed to get a Bulldog.
Drone already sent in to clear. Purpo noted. Molly's shocks. All of it coming out of the woodwork here for GX, but still yet to find that first engagement. Wayne won with his own Bulldog, and now it is just the bandit that you spoke about. Silver lining is a lot of these Liquid players are low.
Yeah, but the time is getting low here.
I don't think the Outlaw's the weapon that Cloud was looking for. He's gone back to the sidearm now. And even with this plant around the corner, still it just doesn't favor him. And so Liquid will bag a thrifty response round 2.
Yeah, it's literally that. Strength in numbers, a great flank round from Miniboo to catch the players off guard. Giant X just not aware of the map at all. And really well played from Team Liquid from just a micro perspective. A conversation we were having yesterday about micro versus macro.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at both of these teams, that stat that popped up at the start is interesting, that GX hadn't beaten Liquid, because the thread that connects both of them is that Cloud and Nats have been permanent members of either of those teams. And when you look at their own individual head-to-head records, well, Cloud hasn't beaten Nats since 2021. I was a bit surprised reading that up myself, but now both as in-game leaders as of last year, another year that trend continues.
Liquid doing what they were doing yesterday against Ulf in terms of being very slow on the uptake, making sure to take their time in terms of clearing things out. It's a nice paranoia, or counter paranoia, but Purple with the spam does grab the jet holding onto A main. Big question mark now for Giant X to try and reclaim maybe in the future, but that knife just does that. So in the meantime, Team Liquid head towards the other side of the map, but so do Giant X.
It's a fairly shallow knife. It used to be a set of stairs that you could throw and get it on top of the roof there, but not anymore. Liquid actually doubling down on the A hit through double doors this time.
Yeah, this is a very strong calling from the attack so far from Nats.
30 seconds left.
And it seems as if there'll be next to no issues in terms of getting this spike down. The only problem that they do have is obviously that main portion.
Yeah, Grubby's still holding on to this. Only a classic, but seems to be the going rate for kills at the moment, Cairo.
Yeah, posing issues. Westside is on a shorty, to be noted, and Nats does have control of spawn, so players will have to force their way in through other means.
And Liquid do have the entry routes held down as it stands. Westside is shorty out, and so that sets you up to suggest that Liquid will be taking the lead here, as was very much expected at the start of the round. Not too much done to really cause them too many issues. And that's where we're wondering, heading into the rifle round, heading into those purchases where we can start to see Ara on this defense with a rifle in his hands, with an op even, how much impact he's going to be able to have.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big conversation point about scope weapons as a whole. Obviously, BBL being the team that everybody's been speaking about in terms of the scope weaponry and how Lovers Rock's been able to really make that work. But Ara, I was expecting to also be able to live up to that standard. And I mean, especially in that last game that we saw from Giant X in the Vitality game, I really felt as if Ara was off form with his open skills, or scope weaponry in general.
Yeah, that's one that we can shelve for a little bit later. I think in terms of this Liquid bonus, it's very strong. And if you want to talk scope weapons, it's been Nats a lot of the time that's been holding on to the Outlaw, despite the other players in the lineup.
No, Ara does have his operator out as well, but it's Westside Spam instead who picks up a kill.
Yeah, really strong start. Camo gone. Some of that initial gap close now missing as well.
Yeah, and the flashes.
So what do Liquid want to try and do here? Looks like they are going to regroup and still try and commit to a finish here on B.
It's Westside though, who still hasn't been cleared.
Tucked away in the corner, Miniboot already round the elbow side. Chance for him to potentially jump up and cause an issue. GX starting to drift away from this one, actually. Ara has the line from main, but they're just none the wiser, and Miniboot's going to play discipline.
I love this, especially when you've got Westside in that corner we spoke about. Oh, nice trade through from Miniboot. Manages to get both players and opens up that B site all by himself.
Brilliant. There comes a moment where you feel like his eyes may have been bigger than his stomach, but manages to get them both, wrangle the spray. GX, man disadvantage coming back through, and Grubby is dead early on this flank.
Yeah, and now Team Liquid get even stronger with the numbers as both players are having to force a way through CT. Nice shots from Cloud though, so the remaining three are all out on main.
They're trying to play post-plant in terms of what they've got. There is no mollies. First of the shot goes though, and yeah, it's just not enough time, and that op needs to be kept for GX. Liquid continuing to add to this lead now after that anti-eco.
Yeah, very nicely played, and I think it all just comes from Miniboot. I think that's the biggest aspect here. Giant X, once again, this is the second round I would pin down to not being aware of the map and the weaknesses. You think towards the anti-eco, that was the first one, and now this is the second time with Miniboot getting all the way deep into sight.
Such a nice play. And even just the awareness here as well from Wayne.
I did
on Grubby flanking. He's now done it in an official VCT match as well. Well done, Miniboot. But that's what I'm talking about, right? You expect Liquid to have done their homework even if they are stressed for time there, and just reading some of the tendencies of GX here in their retakes. Still have the op though with Ara. Unfortunately enough, doesn't look like it's going to get tested anytime early.
Grubby though, looking to play on the edge. Nats was already by the smoke, and that's why this execute is going to be all steam ahead now as Flickless tries to get something working here with the flashes, but it doesn't dissuade anyone. And there is bodies here for GX. I mean, most importantly was Cloud's rifle, but it hasn't found any opportunity to get activated.
Yeah, Cloud droning back in, just looking for the info here, but I think this is a lost cause now with that next rifle going down. Westside getting ready to bunker, but Nats is on the hunt. He's bought the Outlaw specifically for this purpose, and when you look at the money that GX have, or Liquid have, sorry.
How does one shot?
This is what you've got to be hunting down. Ara will win the duel, though. Still plenty of bodies that Liquid can throw at this.
Yeah, and Westside could rescue a rifle here as well.
So actually, with them only being 3 ult points between them off picking up a couple extra ults here, how much more do Liquid really want to try and test? Looks like Wayne would have been the next in the firing line, but TP's away, they cut their losses, and Liquid move up to 4.
That they do. I mean, yesterday, or sorry, not yesterday, it feels as if all the days are merging into one. The other day, when we saw Giant X play up against Vitality, I think the what we saw was like a real back and forth game, right? Giant X making issues of themselves, and especially with a day to practice, and even seeing Team Liquid's Breeze yesterday, it's been allowed into the veto, and I thought Giant X would show something more than what they have in these initial rounds. In fact, if anything, I would actually argue that they look weaker than the day against Vitality.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the difference... Yeah, sure. The difference being with that game is that, you know, first map was a 13-0, had to bounce back into the second. They did get into it eventually, but as you say, Liquid running high with the momentum right now as they send it surging into the A site. Miniboot leading that line, and again slips the net. Didn't look like Westside knew where to look, and as he drops, it's a 5 versus 3. No way back in for GX right now.
Yeah, the spike going down without any issues, and I mean, ultimates if they really want to play for it, but Team Liquid have control of every portion of the map, especially with Wayne with an eye on mid and players in main. There was no way Team Liquid could lose this round.
Miniboot to close it up, 3 from him. Another round where GX caught sleeping and Liquid just happy to carry things on the way that they have. Been very, very clinical in moments when they've managed to find an opening, and I have to say, Miniboot has really been on top of things right now.
He has. He's shown us a different level, and Miniboot certainly has been a highlight for Team Liquid in terms of what he can show us, especially on an agent like Neon. Especially on Neon, where he'll be most comfortable.
So another gun round here for GX to try and get something done. And as it stands, Liquid have a mid-focus, but they've split it through elbow as well, a position which is uncleared by Cloud's drone, so Flickless has to keep his wits about him here.
Yeah, but he's just walked straight out into mid. I mean, sure, you can see Arrow ready to play off it, but straight away, Nats has caught him off guard.
Yeah, just full punished, and there's no tradability. Arrow's looking for something else before the tailwind expires. It's his own death in the end.
Don't know about that.
Cloud will get the better of Nats, and Grubby goes one further. So GX do have bite back in this round, but still, we're yet to see them close these positions.
Yeah, but once again, look at West Side. That's the most important position here. Cloud catches one off guard, but it is going to be a trade on West Side. That player we could see being the trump card certainly comes out on top.
No security for Purpo to try and get the plant in here. Has the ult to play off, but no position to really make it a possibility. Grubby cleaning it up in the end, and GX finally back to winning ways. First time since the pistol.
Yeah, winning ways, but was it really them winning it? Because Liquid were starting to show a real sense of disrespect to their opponents, and there was just tradability there. I don't know, it feels as if what Team Liquid had caught the sickness that Giant X were falling to for the past couple of rounds.
Like you say, we need to see this become repeatable for them. I think one of my big takeaways from the...
Arrow?
Don't know. One of the things I took away from the Liquid game the other day, hang on a second here, was individual moments. Is there one from Ara potentially?
Nice.
Miniboo gets things started, quick trade, Grubby trying to follow it up. High intensity about this defense right now in the opening stages.
I'm liking this from Giant X as they continue to go that route. You can see Grubby taking extra space, Ara as well. And he's managed to keep himself hidden for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, Ara and Grubby in the midst of this. I mean, Liquid losing the main control should be clearing out his position.
Do they have the utility to?
Well, it's a question of whether they want to use it. Purpo's certainly thinking about it. Goes in solo. Wayne, still no follow-up, and it just gives Grubby a chance to take two.
I mean, you're even going to get the Hunter's Fury activated off the back of it, just in case there was more, but Nat's able to get his opposite number. Now Team Liquid need to fight back to get that spike, and look at the time.
Well, there is just about enough of it. It's more a fact that GX have now fully repositioned. Grubby inside the smoke, actually. Camo faking it out, and with a nice use of the TP, does give them a green light for A.
Yeah, but they don't have the player advantage. They're down one compared to Giant X, and look at this, they're close to the site of the defense.
Camo bridging the gap, Nats here as well. The screen giving them enough safety for now. Cloud not willing to disrespect it, but look at Grubby, he's wrapped in behind. First couple shots are wild, and the follow-up is no better. Camo lit up, but Nats a quad kill out of thin air, and Liquid will keep moving forwards.
You can talk about Nats' performances in the past few series, but I'm telling you, he's always got the goods when it comes to a clutch. Excellent stuff to carry Team Liquid to a sixth. No right to win this out.
Look, Lohan was saying in the interview, it's kickoff, you can't disrespect any team, but also how symptomatic some of these situations have been of the time of year that we're currently in, as this lower bracket does really feel like a work in progress. I mean, errors made on both sides in that round, Cairo.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is it seems to be who can make the least mistakes, not who can punish the most.
And coming back to what I was setting up in the previous round, is that Liquid's win condition at the start of Breeze yesterday against Ulf was just having big individual moments. Yeah. And I think that is always going to be the going rate if you can get them performing to the best of their abilities. Camo leading the charge here, and a nice combination. Should have Westside dead to rights.
Yeah, ooh, nearly a chance, but at least Flickless is able to take out Camo at the same time, but he's all alone on site.
The flank coming in, Purpo aware of it, and just happy to take these fights, trades it out. And Miniboo with 3 more to finish it off. Liquid now with an advantage on the half confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's why they've invested the ultimates, to make sure they at least get 7 here. But at the same time, they were up against an eco buy for Giant X. We're going to see Still a heavy investment coming through, still wanting to get Ara back on that operator. And it's going to cost Giant if they lose this round. Team Liquid up to 8, playing against an economy buy, an eco buy.
Yeah. Something off of the reduced shelf. But now GX are running out of excuses. They have the op in play, the ult's available if required. Miniboo charging into the darkness.
Spike down mid.
Very quickly sent to that place exactly. Grubby with a quick double, Cloud one more. Just some of these rounds are so fast-paced.
Yeah, it would be massive for Giant X to get this done flawlessly. As both remain on the Team Liquid side, try to find a gap in which to work. The fact that West side is so low would be a great pressure point to try and use.
It's fully repositioned though. Nats just not expecting West side to be so far up close towards the main choke. Having dropped off with the position of the spike right now in double doors, so Purpo goes 1 versus 5, and it's an attempt which he is almost fated to lose.
That's what we're expecting. It does have a little bit of time to work with, but not a whole bunch, especially considering that if you take that spike, you're going to want to try and go to the A site, and that's well stocked for the Giant X side. So with that, we're expecting this to be a defender's win.
Yeah, and it very much should be. So taking a step back then and looking forward to sort of the future rounds in mind with what we've seen in the last couple. Well, we had that conversation right at the start, the initiator diff in terms of at least the experience on the role. We know Purpo was playing this a while ago, and I think we saw the combination on the previous with the ults. It was up against the eco. It's kind of difficult to read into, right? I think the question that you're asking here is between Liquid and GX, it's finding out what works with this new lineup versus the GX side, which knew what worked for them in the past, but now maybe have to change that up a little bit.
Yeah, it's starting to move into something a little bit more uncomfortable. And it begs the question, right? What has Giant X been working on in the off-season? Because we saw them win on the off-season tournament in Blender, right? They showed a good performance there, but since then they were playing against tier 2 and opponents and things like that.
Sure.
We need to see something more coming into Kickoff, and it feels like, for me, Giant X maybe haven't been working on a whole bunch in terms of new things, starting to be more aligned with the meta.
That's the distinction to make.
I'm not saying they've not done anything, just in case.
Of course. Paid to. It's the job.
There.
But as you mentioned, very much by the book, and how Pipson set this up. No one really running hot on the GX side right now, and backed into the corner. Flickless will fold under the pressure that Miniboo presents. Only West side left here now. Quick flank coming through from Grubby. That goes cancelled. Camo aware of it, just keeping tabs as West side still has slipped around here and will want to cut off that spike in its tracks if he can, but detected. It's an issue. And Ara is the next best chance at stopping that plant, and he'll just interrupt it.
Yeah, he's successful in doing so, and you can see already GX, they want to make a move off the back of it as the players start to flank round.
Which means that this position from Wayne ends up becoming incredibly strong though. Spike is planted for him, and with a re-wrap into elbow, I don't think GX are expecting this at all. Miniboo is the one that has been highlighted. Still, no one any wiser as to where Wayne has gotten off to. So he finds a quick double, and Ara just has to walk away from this one. It's a closed case. Liquid have found a way to find 8 here. Clever reposition from Wayne, and that's all it took.
Fantastic. I mean, I spoke about it just briefly, that Wayne had a great start yesterday on Breeze. And I mean, overall, he's shown his goods time and time again that he was a top pickup. I mean, he was the top-rated player on the on Breeze for Team Liquid. ACS obviously second highest.
And it was his best performance by far. And you consider just the amount of games that it sometimes takes for a player not only new to VCT but new to the region can take. One shy of 60 kills, 27 assists. The proof is in the result. A lot of that stemming from what is comfortable for him, and for Ara, it's this op again. gets the line early, but Minibu had already crossed, so the dash is conservative, but smart.
3 players identified through that elbow position, and Pings to perhaps go one step further. Just mid that Team Liquid want to try and work.
Grubby's up in this elevated position again, gives it up. Camo just able to bite down on Cloud, caught in the drone. Liquid using their own in the meantime to scale through mid, but with Nats finding another pick on A, what is the call here? Looks like they do want to finish on this side of the map.
Yeah, but still, GX are being attracted to this, and you can see Flickless just gravitating into the middle, the back of sight up against Nats.
Big 1 versus 1, but Nats will win it. Has the jump on Flickless there from the corner. Final round of the half, Ara has to give this one a go. There's no more saving the op, of which we are yet to really see the value, the impact. And with the pit in play, it just chokes him out of anything, really.
Yeah, having to get up close and personal with the operator is not where you want to be.
Oh, but even at range, still the shots won't land. Shorty in hand, Ara trying to search for anything here, but GX have really let go of this half ever since that second round. Liquid giving a foot in the door. Ooh. And just building on the momentum that they had. Nothing gained from the position there. And an in-zone flawless to end the opening 12.
Yeah, a fantastic attacking half from Team Liquid, well called by Nats, and Giant X just maybe faltering a little bit. I'm surprised at the performance so far.
Yeah, it's not been the best for them, but still a chance to turn things around on the second half of Breeze coming up.
Your body knows. A sense of victory. Seized when mind, movement, and gear ignite as one. Now, step into your zone. Designed to win.
A big step up required in the second half here for GX if they are to keep themselves in Breeze, a pick which Liquid have very much made their own over the last few matches, and a player that we really want to focus on here is Ara. Now, looking at the stats, it's important to contextualize this one real quick. The impact rate cooked up by none other than Captain Cow and Flynn, the analyst from Na'Vi. Essentially, it's op kills divided by op uses, so 100% means that the player gets an op kill every single time they use it, 0% no kills, and Ara 14 out of 15 possible op users.
Yeah.
For the person who's bought it the most, you just feel like we're not getting that return at the moment.
100%, and I mean, we can give a little bit of leeway there in terms of maybe who you've played against, or in terms of if he's up towards the like less than 10. But right now, Ara just isn't showing up when we need him to. And when he was on the rifle against Vitality, he was really showing his goods then.
We may have to wait a while before we see that op come out, if at all, of course, on the attack side. Should be stronger for GX with how Breeze has tended to lean.
Nice.
Oh, Nats! So close to finding a double there, even in main. But it will run dry, and Purpo now does have support in backside. Finds another, and very nearly gets Flickless as well, but his own 2 kills have managed to keep GX with an advantage. One, which doesn't last for long.
And look at both players on the attack, they're so low.
14 HP between the two of them. And just one flash on Flickless to even get you a little bit excited about what could be done here.
Yeah, but you look at this, you can see Miniboo's waiting for Wayne to get into position.
Yeah, but at what point did GX start to realize this? Flickless just flashing himself out for a little bit of information. Does concede the positioning at the same time. And with Rubinho already on the radar, Wayne locks it in for Liquid. Their first pistol round in this map, but with how the start of the first half went, it has been one-way traffic.
It really has, and considering that, it's strange to think about the position that we find ourselves in, right? When you think towards the other match I've been referencing a lot in terms of against Vitality, and Giant X, they felt as if when
I decided to
moved on
commit for this, I don't care, bro.
When they moved on to the attack, that's when they really showed their goods.
That's the ace stealer, ace denier, I'm guessing it means, right? Opponent on the other team having an ace taken away.
You'd be raging.
Revealing area.
You would. But GX need all they can get right now. It's a 4 Spy with 3 Stingers, 2 Sheriffs. Looking a little rough around the edges, and Liquid just smoothing it out. Miniboo with 2. Still have numbers here, but Camo's got to be careful. He's the only player on B.
Yeah, and if he gets caught out, it goes to a 2 versus 2.
Last one left, and tries to stand his ground. Does so. 3 from Camo. That might just be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, especially when Giant X have used every piece that they could possibly have. Do they force in again? Looks like it's not going to be the case. A couple of Sheriffs in the mix. That would be the most worrying part if they did go a second time round.
Like, momentum was a huge aspect to Liquid's Breeze yesterday against Ulf. Off the back of the loss. Lohan getting a little excited, riled up. That's what it was. It was Nats' speech firing them through the first 6 rounds. But here it's been, you know, no conversion after a pistol, now a force which hasn't worked. It's feeling so far out of reach.
At this point in time, the thing that we can say about it is Team Liquid's pick. I know it's harsh to say when there's still rounds to play, but Giant X, for the most part, haven't shown us signs of life yet.
And it just makes you wonder, what is it that would need to change for them to find some more success here? We know as a team they have not been wedded to the idea of playing double duelist at all, which is very much in vogue at the moment. And with Ara performing the way he is, you just feel like there needs to be a little bit more behind this. Liquid finding the kills that they're expected to here. If GX had anything in the past, it was synergy, but still they're looking disconnected at this point.
One enemy
And it just seems that it's deathmatch time. Nice shots from Cloud, but overall Team Liquid are just deafing Giant X when it comes to the weapons and the engagements.
As much as you've brought up that Vitality game as well, I guess a similarity to this one that we may soon be seeing is an incredibly slow start. Liquid already on map point, GX playing catch-up with just 3 rounds. Might be the only 3 rounds they get between their last 2 opening maps, Kyra. I mean, in playoffs, you can't afford to start this slow.
You really can. And to think that you're in an elimination match, you were a split 2 grand finalists, went to champs, and then this is how your kickoff begins. Sure, meta change, probably the biggest shift we've seen in Valorant so far, but come on, man, it's got to be better than this. There's only so many excuses you can give to teams.
Can't get worse than this, can it, you know?
It
but you'd hope not. Liquid now just running it straight down mid, up the guts. Camo drops the spike in spawn, and Miniboo's there with him as well. It's an absolute massacre right now. GX don't want to take a back seat. Finally, they look to seize control of the situation.
And even fight back for the spike. Team Liquid may have overstepped. So the spike back in Giant X's hands, and an opportunity to keep themselves alive at least a round longer.
Wayne has the ult. He can reposition if required. Needs to win this first fight though, and it's all West Side. So, first round down, 8 to go for overtime.
Yeah, well, what are we up to? Team Liquid, they've got what they came for and still want more. A bit too greedy perhaps, but Giant X do well to try and get what they wanted, try and fight back in, and really it comes through Rubinho.
Definitely one of those situations where you're prone to overheat when everything is working out for you. Looked like Liquid with the advantage they had, not a single casualty in that mid-incision. Happy to play this one. I mean, talk of double duelist partnerships, Miniboo and Camo looking great so far in this series.
Well, they have, but it's been more Miniboo than it has Camo. In terms of the kills department, at least.
Sure, not one without the other, I suppose, but here come GX onto the B site.
Oh, and Wayne looking to hold it down with Miniboo, and he's doing successful so far. Camo as well, and that spike on the ground, you can't help but feel this is it. This is finally Team Liquid to close out the map. A minute to play with if you're West Side, and it is a player who is... Oh, no, Nats.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, a player who can clutch up, but not this time. An end zone flawless for Team Liquid to close out map 1.